Good evening, everyone. Tonight is Tuesday, April 14th, and I'll call the North Liberty City Council meeting to order. Tracy, could we have roll call, please?
Fortney. Here. Leibold.
Here.
Park.
Here.
Smith. Wason.
Here. Thank you. Item 3 is approval of the agenda. There are no changes on there. Could I have a motion for approval, please?
So moved.
Second.
By Park, seconded by Fortney. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is approved. Item 4 is our consent agenda. Is there anything on there that you guys have a question about? Seeing none, could I have a motion for approval, please?
So moved.
Second.
Fortney and Wason. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda carries. Item 5 is public comment. If there's anyone in the audience wishing to address council on an item that's not already on our agenda, now is your time. I think everyone is here for a reason tonight. Seeing that, I'll close public comment and I'll move to our engineer's report. Josiah.
Thanks, Mayor. I wanted to update the council on 2 projects, one in design, North Stewart Street improvements. We're getting started on design phase of that. That's designed this year, construction next year. We've got a letter put together with the help of city staff to let people know we're going to be surveying out there in a couple weeks. Survey crews out on the street to open manholes and check the utilities and get shots on the elevations of everything. So that is that's underway. And then just update you guys on Forever Green Road in Jasper. The contractor is on site working. We talked about this last council meeting that they were getting ready to. So they're on site, they're doing work, they're moving some topsoil, getting ready to do some more intensive grading, weather dependent, of course. I would note Jasper Avenue is closed north of the Quick Star right now. That rural section is closed. And so the contractor's on site, getting started, and some of the utility companies are out there finishing up their relocations as well. So I think things are moving along. That's all I have, Mayor, aside from questions.
Any questions for Josiah? We'll let you off easy tonight. Ryan, I'll move to item 7, which is our city administrator report.
Okay, thank you. A couple dates coming up. Just a reminder that April 25th is a Saturday, is our cleanup day from 7 to 11 at our Public Works campus on Front Street. So folks are able to haul in anything that they want to get rid of. There's a list of things that we'll accept and won't accept on our city website. So certainly take a look at that if you're going to be using that service. And then on Monday, the 20th, we have a joint entities meeting that's at U Heights at the courtyard in U Heights. So if you have anything that you'd like added to the agenda, you can reach out to Tracy. I do know that one of the topics of discussion is there seems to be some concern about residents or folks in the Iowa City area that are struggling to get transportation up to the hospital in North Liberty, as well as Steinler. And so I think that's going to be a topic for at least some discussion and questions on that at Monday's meeting. And then the last thing I would note this evening is that in your packet, there's an update from Greater Iowa City about the small business grant program. You can see we're making some hay on that program. We have 5 approved applicants that have received funding so far in the amount of total between the 5 of $40,000, and some of those details are included in that memo. And then 2 other applicants that are close to having all the necessary paperwork in, and they were hoping to see some approvals, if not yet late this month, certainly in May. And then they described 3 other applicants as early in the stage for approvals and investigating those applications. So they still anticipate funding 10 applications at this point, given the information they have. If something changes, of course, an applicant pulls out or doesn't spend as much money, they'll look to reallocate that to another applicant. But that program is as you've heard already, has been popular, and hopefully we'll have all the projects wrapped up here within the next 4 or 5 months. That's what I have tonight, Mayor, unless you folks have any questions.
Any questions for Ryan?
For the cleanup, Ryan, did they have to bring any ID? Like,
Good
how does that
question.
work?
Yeah, I think Tracy knows this better than I do.
Like the gatekeeper.
Yeah. Can you describe what they need to?
The residents need something to prove verification that they live in the city and pay a city water bill. So an ID that has their local address is fine.
Or we'll accept a water bill?
We would accept a water bill.
Thank you.
The person that's bringing, a lot of times we will have like parents that come in and clean out their kid's garage, and then they drive their vehicle and don't bring their kid along with them. That makes it hard. So I always ask for the resident to be in the car as well. I'm a hard nose.
Thank you.
That's a good question. I'm glad you asked that, Tanya.
Ryan, I think I heard that is there a plan for the people to tell their story of the grant applicants for the small business?
Yeah, there is. Thanks for asking that. In fact, I had that note here and failed to mention it, but the Greater IC team will work also with our community relations team on different ideas to share the projects and promote the businesses through blog posts and social media posts. And I know they were talking about doing some different types of videos to promote those things. That'll happen as we see some of these projects. They want before and after photos and things. So that'll happen a little bit later in the process. But that's actually part of our agreement with Greater IC.
Fantastic.
Anything else? Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. We'll move on to Mayor's report, and just a couple of updates that Brian and I were at the MPO meeting a couple of Wednesdays ago, and the topic of transit, folks using seats came up then, and that's partially why this is on the joint entities meeting agenda as well. So if you can be there at U Heights next Monday at 4:30, these are great opportunities just to get to know other elected folks from around the region. You don't have to make any decisions, just there for the conversation. So with that, I have 3 proclamations to read tonight, and I'm going to just go in order on the agenda. And I'm first going to start with the Mental Health Awareness Month. And I have 3 of them, and I think it was Libby, right? When I'm done, you're welcome to make some comments or not. I know that you got put on the spot here tonight.
1 or 3.
What's that?
So after you read the proclamation?
Yeah, after I read your proclamation, you're welcome. Yep, exactly. Whereas the National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI, is the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization dedicated to building better lives for the millions of Americans affected by mental illness. And whereas the face of mental illness isn't some stranger, it is a coworker, our neighbors, our friends, our families, and sometimes ourselves. And whereas mental illness does not discriminate, it affects adults, children, and people of every ethnic, socioeconomic, religious, or political background. And whereas 1 of 5 adults in the United States experiences a diagnosable mental disorder, and 1 in 5 youth ages 13 to 18 experiences a severe mental disorder in any given year. And whereas suicide is the second leading cause of death for America's youth, ages 15 to 24, and the vast majority of those who die by suicide have a mental illness that is often undiagnosed or untreated. And whereas half of all chronic mental illness begins by age 14, and 3/4 begins by age 24. Therefore, treating cases early could address and reduce disability before mental illnesses become more severe. And whereas NAMI Johnson County will hold its annual walk on Saturday, May 2nd at 9 o'clock at Terry Trueblood Recreational Area in Iowa City. The walk aims to inspire and initiate a community conversation about the impact that mental illness has on every part of our collective lives, from family systems to primary health care to the education system to the business community and beyond. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Mayor Chris Hoffman, do hereby proclaim or recognize May of 2026 as Mental Health Awareness Month and urge all residents to increase the awareness and understanding of mental health and be informed of the treatment options available in our county for individuals with mental illness.
Well, thank you so much to the City of North Liberty for recognizing that there's a lot of chronic illnesses that are in our family members and in our neighbors' lives, and the ripple effect to whether or not someone can stay in school or whether or not they can keep a job, it affects everyone in the community. So we really thank you for your awareness, and we would love your participation at the NAMI Walk at Terry Trueblood on May 2nd. It raises funds for programs, a drop-in center, and phone counseling, as well as support groups for families. So thanks a lot for your attention tonight.
Thank you for being here.
What time does that start?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
We'll move on to our second proclamation, which is for Arbor Day. And whereas trees can be a solution to combating climate change by reducing the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderating the temperature, cleaning the air, producing life-giving oxygen, and providing habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas the City of North Liberty has been recognized as a Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation and desires to continue its tree planting practices. And whereas each year Arbor Day is observed by the people of North Liberty, Iowa, with the special attention paid to the care and planting of trees. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Chris Hoffman, Mayor of the City of North Liberty, do hereby proclaim Friday, April 24th, 2026, to be Arbor Day in North Liberty, Iowa, and encourage all North Liberty citizens to participate in tree planting and nurture, protect, and wisely use Iowa's natural wonder of trees so that we will ensure a more beautiful city and state, promoting the well-being of this and future generations. I don't think anyone's out there to receive this one or make comments. And finally, I have a proclamation for Fair Housing Month. Whereas the Fair Housing Act, enacted on April 11th, 1968, enshrined into federal law the goal of eliminating racial segregation and ending housing discrimination in the United States. And whereas the Fair Housing Act prohibits discrimination in housing based on race, color, religion, sex, familial status, national origin, and disability, and commits recipients of federal funding to affirmatively further fair housing in their communities. And whereas 2026 marks the 58th anniversary of this monumental Civil Rights Act of Congress. And whereas North Liberty is committed to the mission and intent of Congress to provide fair and equal housing opportunities for all, and whereas housing is a basic human right upon which a person's stability, peace, and health depend, and whereas our social fabric, the economy, health, and environment are strengthened in diverse, inclusive communities, and whereas acts of housing discrimination and barriers to equal housing opportunity are repugnant to a common sense of decency and fairness. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Mayor Chris Hoffman, do hereby recognize April 2026 as Fair Housing Month in North Liberty and encourage community members to participate in commemorative events, educate themselves on fair housing issues, and endorse policies supportive of fair housing at the local, state, and national level. Candy, anything to add?
Nothing to add to what you said, Mayor, but I want to thank the city for acknowledging this, for bringing this to people's attention, and providing us with any information we can do to help be a part of this. Okay?
You got it. Do you want to take a picture to memorialize this or take this with you? You don't look like you're in the mood for a picture.
I don't care.
Okay. Ryan's a great photographer, so let's do
Oh,
this.
Ryan's going to do
Yeah.
it?
Doctor? I'll be standing smiling over your shoulder.
You should. I don't think I'm in the way. No, I didn't. I got it here, but I'm okay with it. I can be over here yawning and nobody knows.
Excuse me. That's all I have, and I'll move on to item 9, which is our council reports. And I started this when I took over as mayor as an opportunity for our public to hear what our council members are doing besides sitting here at a meeting on our behalf. So no particular order, what's been going on the last couple of weeks?
Well, as the mayor mentioned, we did go to the MPO meeting a couple of weeks ago. One of the things that was actually really interesting is the micro mobility, which is like the scooters and the little e-bikes and stuff. And there's a lot of them out there, and trying to just make sure that we have good policies and managing them. The MPO is also working on their survey for their next updated kind of transportation plan. And I think we put it on the city Facebook page, but if you go to Metropol or the MPO for Johnson County, you can take that survey and help out with that. I'd like to thank Sam, one of our youth in town, who wrote a very well-written letter talking about some recreation opportunities with go-karts. It was quite well done, and we really appreciate him stepping up and doing that. The Emergency Management Agency did let the bids for the building that will be in Tiffin just past the new roundabout, and hopefully it'll be done by the end of the year. We did participate in the goal setting with everyone else here, coming up with the next couple years plan. Muddy Creek cleanup, or Don't Fall In Day, was successful again last week. I did not fall in the creek for 3 years in a row. Like to thank city staff who participated, Troop 216, PAC 275, some of the tree and stormwater advisory folks, and then other people were there as well. And then just to let people know, this is Telecommunicator Week. And so that is actually the people, when you call 911, they're going to answer that phone call and get you help. So this is a week to recognize all their efforts. So.
Thanks, Brian. Anyone else?
I would say Ryan did a great job. Ryan Hire did a great job speaking at our Iowa City Noon Rotary Club about North Liberty and all the things happening in our great city. The Rotary Club is going to be planting trees at the food pantry on the 18th, and so I'll be excited to take part in that. And there was a great turnout at the North Liberty Coffee Connections at Posey Bakery, so I was able to give a little brief update for there. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this the last time, maybe I did, but the Arts and Culture Plan Steering Committee, kicked off and has a lot of great energy and ideas and participants, and we're really excited about that. And I haven't heard just yet, but hopefully we've gotten some great participation on the survey that was sent out, because we're really looking for community feedback and for the community to be part of that process. So that's it for me. Thanks.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, for me, Mayor, just wanted to offer my congratulations. They had it out before we had an opportunity to formally recognize them, but we had 2 new officers that were inducted into the force tonight. So I wanted to say congratulations to those folks and their families. We're happy to have them with that commitment to serve, but then also I know we're going to talk about the entire police unit here in a little bit, but the leadership to guide them is important as well. So thank you for that, and thank you for those folks joining our force. I think everybody would be, we did have a strategic planning session just a few days ago, and everybody on this council, I thought it was a really healthy conversation on what the next couple of years looks like from a strategic planning and goal setting session. So I was happy to participate in that, and thank you all for that as well. I did meet with a few representatives who are on the ballot for Johnson County Supervisor in different districts, so excited to see how that process unfolds, and that those representatives, I think, were joined with one here tonight as well. So nice meeting you. But that's an important election, an important time coming up here soon. So just want to bring awareness to that. And then with it being Mental Health Awareness Month, I think it's important to recognize, or at least call out, that there is a hotline that exists. If you do have a mental health need, if you're challenged by something, the hotline number for that is 988. It's a very simple number to just pick up the phone and dial. If you need help, 988 is the national mental health hotline number. So,
Thanks, Brian.
yep, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I don't have a whole lot. I did participate in the art and culture survey with the committee, or the group, the steering committee with that. Paul, is there a deadline or an end date for that survey for residents?
I think it may have passed, but I'm not for sure.
It's still out there and
Is it?
open.
Is it still out there? Okay, I just wanted to encourage people to participate for sure on that. I also wanted to thank the mayor for the proclamation for equal housing. And I think it's very important because there's so many people that don't get to afford that ability to have affordable housing, and I really appreciate the city doing that. I too wanted to congratulate and thank the two gentlemen that were sworn in this afternoon. Very proud of them for having answered the call to serve and protect our community, North Liberty, and super excited to see them grow with the department and the city as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Tanya. All right, I'll move on to item 10, which is our police department accreditation. Chief, what's this all about?
So a couple years ago, there were a bunch of folks talking about what would be the best thing to make sure that Iowa, to professionalize law enforcement in Iowa, what's the best way to do that? So we talked about an accreditation program. There's a national program, but of course it's really expensive. It takes dedicated people to do it. For our size, it just did not seem to make sense. And so talking about, police departments and sheriff's offices within Iowa and the sizing and what we could do. And so the Iowa Police Chiefs, Sheriffs and Deputies Association came together and came up with a state of Iowa accreditation process. So we applied for a grant, we got accepted, and here we are today, now being an accredited agency. So it's, I think every agency in Iowa should be accredited. It talks about basically the constitutional policing. We want it for our community, we want it for our department, we want it for our officers, and it just shows that we're doing best practices and what we need to be doing for our community. So really proud of it.
Respect.
Mayor Hoffman, council members, and citizens of North Liberty. Tonight, we celebrate an important milestone for your community and recognize the outstanding work of the North Liberty Police Department. Your police department has voluntarily undertaken and achieved accreditation through the Iowa Law Enforcement Accreditation Program, a challenging process that reflects a deep commitment to professionalism, transparency, and continuous improvement. It is more than a certificate. It is a recognition of excellence in modern policing. Accreditation ensures that the department follows current professional standards, delivers law enforcement services effectively and efficiently, and reduces risk and liability for both the agency and its members. The process formalizes key management procedures, builds staff confidence, and strengthens public trust. It also provides an outside independent validation that the department is meeting high standards and is committed to ongoing evaluation and improvement. By earning this distinction, North Liberty Police Department demonstrates that it has a strong set of written directives, has welcomed outside critique, has achieved a significant accomplishment, and is committed to regularly updating its policies and procedures. Chief Venenga and all members of the department, your professionalism and dedication reflect great credit upon the city. On behalf of the Iowa Law Enforcement Accreditation Program, congratulations and thank you for your commitment to your profession.
That's terrific. We need some photos. We need some congratulations.
I know, I really.
It's okay, Tyson.
Maybe when they take a picture.
He dressed up for the occasion. Grant, go ahead.
Should I move?
Yeah. Did you help with the process?
Sure. I didn't screw it up.
Go get in the picture.
I think so. Yeah, there we go.
Do we applause now? Is that more appropriate?
I'm going to let them quietly leave council chambers, but as they do, I want to acknowledge the three members of that leadership team, and they've been the face and the foundation for our police department, especially over this last 18 months and a couple of years. So I'm extremely proud of them, and I'm grateful that they are here with us in our community. I'll move on to item 11, which is the Board of Appeals appointments. And item A is confirmation of my appointments to the Board of Appeals. And Grant, what's a confirmation look like? A voice?
Be just fine.
Head nod?
A motion.
A motion?
A motion to approve, a second, and a voice.
Tracy, could we have a motion to approve these appointments?
I think I would recommend one of the
make a
council
motion.
members making a motion.
But I will move that.
Oh,
Second.
she can't quite do that.
All right. Yeah. We had a motion and a second.
Wason, Park?
Yes.
All right. Are there any questions?
Nope. Just always cool to have really good people, with a lot of background stuff.
It is, and these two, one's a professional engineer, has been at it for a long time, and another one just has a unique background. I told both of them that they're not likely to be used. We haven't brought this group together for a few years, but yeah, you're exactly right. Tracy, I know that you can't vote on this one, but could you now do roll call for us?
You can do this just by voice vote.
You said I had to do roll call. I already got a motion in a second. Okay, voice vote.
You sure
All in
you
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Hey, what would this be if we didn't have a little humor up here?
Flawless.
Item 12 is the FY 2026-2027 city budget. And item A is our public hearing regarding proposed FY 2026-2027 budget. Is there anyone, I'll open the public hearing for anyone wishing to address council and staff. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and move to item B, which is resolution number 2026-34. This is a resolution adopting the annual budget and capital improvement plan for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2027 for the city of North Liberty, Iowa. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Leibold, seconded by Wason. Are there any questions?
Yep. Just thanks to staff for all the work they did on that. So
I'll second that. Tracy, could we have roll call, please?
Park,
Aye.
Wason,
aye.
Leibold,
Aye.
Fortney.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 13 is the community center parking lot project, and item A is public hearing on proposed plans, specifications, contract, and estimate of cost. Anyone in the audience wishing to address council for those? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and move to item B, which is resolution number 2026-35, a resolution finally approving and confirming plans, specifications, and estimate of cost for the community center parking lot project. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Park, seconded by Fortney. You guys have any questions? Josiah, I just had one question. Part of it mentions realigning with, on the south side there with Cherry Street.
Yeah.
How much, what does that mean exactly? Is the driveway getting widened, pushed over in one direction or another? I don't mean to put you on the spot there, but it was the only question I had.
It's just slightly getting pushed over to line up with the entrance to Cherry Street. It's kind of offset a little bit.
Okay.
And
Hadn't noticed that before.
this lines it up with the rest of the lot going west.
Awesome.
Just helps us put in some of the things we wanted to do. Like,
Okay, thank you. Tracy, could I have roll call, please?
Leibold,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Fortney.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 14 is our civic campus preliminary and final plat. Item A, Russ's Staffing and Planning Commission recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just as to recall, the Planning Commission only reviews preliminary plats. So the Planning Commission did review that last week at its April meeting and unanimously recommends approval. And then just the City Council approves final plats, but you're in consideration of both tonight.
Awesome. Thank you. Any questions before we get into that? Seeing none. Item B is resolution number 2026-36. This is a resolution approving the preliminary plat for North Liberty Civic Campus, North Liberty, Iowa. Could I have a motion for consideration?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Wason, seconded by Park. Any questions? Tracy, could we have a roll call on this one, please?
Leibold,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Fortney,
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Item C is resolution number 2026-37. This is a resolution approving the final plat for the North Liberty Civic Campus, North Liberty, Iowa. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Fortney, seconded by Park. Any questions? Tracy, could we have a roll call, please?
Wason,
Aye.
Fortney,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Leibold.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. And item 15 is Greenbelt Trail Part 4. This is a resolution number 2026-38, a resolution accepting the transfer of ownership of Greenbelt Trail Part 4, Outlot K and Outlot L. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Park, seconded by Fortney. Any questions about that? Tracy, roll call, please.
Give me just a second, please. I'm sorry. This is not cooperating today. There we go. Okay. Wason,
Aye.
Leibold,
Aye.
Fortney,
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. And item 16 is our Urban Central TIF District. This is item A, second consideration of ordinance number 2026-05, an ordinance providing for the division of taxes levied on taxable property in the April 2025 addition to the North Liberty Urban Renewal Area, pursuant to section 403.19 of the Code of Iowa. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Wason, seconded by both Fortney and Leibold. Are there any questions about this? Tracy, one more time, please.
Park,
Aye.
Fortney,
Aye.
Leibold,
Aye.
Wason.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Anything out there for old business? Looking good? Okay, reviewing his notes. New business. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Leibold, Fortney. All in favor, say aye.